Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ash, aka I'm a Ghostbuster, and I'm here with another tier list video for you guys. This time it's ranking the video game controllers for Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. Now, I haven't made this list. This is off of TierMaker. You can find tons of awesome tier lists on there. And these are just the sort of main ones. It doesn't include all the weird offshoot ones, the unofficial ones, stuff like that. It's just the core controllers. Now, I'm lucky enough that I've played with all of these controllers, so for once, I'll be able to give my full ranking without going, oh, I haven't played that one. So we'll jump straight in. We'll start with Nintendo. So first up was obviously the NES controller. I'll be ranking these from S down to D. Honestly, the NES controller was okay. I'll give it a C. I prefer the Mega Drive controller. I'm sorry, guys. Like the Mega Drive and the Master System, I never liked the NES pad. It was just a bit. Now, the SNES pad, that's another matter. That's going up into A. It's comfortable. It's much more spongy. Like it's softer to use. It feels better in your hand. It's obviously got the shoulder buttons and stuff like that. So very, very cool little controller. Then after that, they went to what is probably the worst games controller ever. I'll get some flack for this in the comments, I know, but the N64 controller, I hate it. I like that it's innovative and it's a weird layout for different types of games, but the thumbstick always breaks, and is loose. And like, if you get one second hand now, that's the first thing that's either gone or will go. And honestly, it used to break your hand playing it, so I don't like that. Then we came to the pinnacle of Nintendo controllers, and that is the GameCube. And I'm putting the GameCube up in S. I will fight you for that if you don't agree with me. The GameCube controller is a thing of beauty. It's so weird, it's wonderful, it's got buttons all over the place. It's like they just dropped a controller and went, yeah, that'll do, send it out, it's fine. So yeah, that's staying. Then we got another rubbish controller. It's going in C because I think it's better than the N64 controller, which is the Wii remote. Now, when they brought out that little like thing that attaches on the bottom, the Wii Remote Plus or something, it did have much better tracking for the motion controllers, but half the time it didn't work correctly, very much like the Kinect, and also it caused the rise of all those crap motion games. So it gets relegated to the caverns of C. Then we move on to the Wii U, and do you know what? I would rate the Wii U higher. I liked the Wii U. I had one at launch. I loved how you could play on the screen like one person, and then everyone else played on the big telly with the Wii remotes. I thought that was really cool. It's just a shame it didn't get utilized enough. It died a quick death. But that game where you're running around as Mario hiding while everyone else chases you, we had a load of fun with that and all those mini games and stuff. And I did like it where you could use that to look at your inventory without having to pause your game in like Zombie U and stuff. It was laggy and a bit rubbish. It had naff sounds, didn't it, and stuff like that. But it paved the way for what would eventually be the Switch. So it gets a B. I really enjoy it. And then we come to, last but not least, the Switch. Now, this is going in B. I don't like the nunchuck things, the things that slot on the side, the Joy-Con, shall I say, of the Switch. They are made for people with tidgy little hands. I end up crippled if I play with them. So either I play it plugged in, or I'll play it with a Pro Controller, which isn't on this list. Now, the Pro Controller for the Switch would be an A, just for clarification. I think it's a very good controller. It's what happens when you copy an Xbox controller, which is great on its own. They took all the best bits, and yeah, it feels great. It plays great. Whereas the Joy-Cons are good. I love them for the motion gate, like where you can feel the things in your hands and stuff. That's cool. Bit gimmicky. That doesn't get used a lot. And I do like that you can pop them off and play like 4 players and then pop them back on and stuff. That's really innovative and cool. It's like the next step up from the Wii U. I just don't think them as a controller, like separately. They are very comfortable for non-child or tiny-handed people. Right, I'm going to go Xbox next. First up, we've got the Duke. Now, I I'm going to say B, but worse than the Joy-Cons. It was an okay start, but one, it only had like the single triggers. It didn't have the all four buttons on the top, and it was huge. Like it was like you were holding like a giant brick in your hand. So it's in B. The smaller version they released afterwards is much better. I use this on my OG Xbox, so definitely check that out if you ever get like an OG Xbox, want to play OG games. Don't go for the Duke, go for the smaller one. Then we get S tier, the 360 controller. It's probably one of the most comfortable controllers that's ever existed. I love it. It's one of my favorite. They had so many different themed ones you could get for like every single game known to man. I still use it on my PCs as well. I've only just started to phase out my 360 pads that I use for other things because I really like the Series X pad now, just because of the share button and stuff like that. Then we've got the Xbox One. I like the Xbox One controller. It's not as good as the 360 controller, not as comfy, but it still does the job, and it's still a very good controller. However, I'm going to put the Series X and S controller above the 360 one because I've just got so used to it. It's like they took what made the 360 pad great and then like updated the Xbox One pad. It's a bit chunkier, it feels nicer in your hands, and it's also got obviously the share feature, and it's got a much better D-pad, which reminds me more of the old 360 D-pad. So there's also the Elite controller. I had an Elite controller, and honestly, I sold it because the things I needed that I was using my Elite controller for were like I had buttons to take screenshots and videos. They added that to the Series X, and it's much lighter than the Elite. So for me, I enjoy that much more. Right, now we're on to the old school PlayStation stuff. So I'm going to put this the original PS1 controller in C. This is the one before it had joysticks, should I say, thumbsticks. It was rubbish. It's uncomfortable. It does the job, I suppose, but when they added the thumbsticks, it was like a revelation. That would be much higher. It's not in this list. It wasn't the original one, obviously, for the console. They then did bring out this. It was basically the same controller for the PS2 in all sense of purposes. It was just black and it had a much better rumble. I love the PS2 controller. It's not my favorite, but it's a very good controller. It had everything that the PS1 pad had. It just felt nicer in your hands. Then they had the PS3 controller, and at launch, this was absolutely garbage. Like, I do not like the PS3 controller. It felt like there was nothing in it at launch. It had the like axis stuff to make the dragons spin and that, and it was rubbish. So I'm not putting that highly. Honestly, it's not a bad controller. It's better. It's better than the Joy-Cons and not the Joy-Con, the Switch control. Not the Switch. The Wii Stick of Death, and better than the NES controller, but it's the worst PlayStation controller. Then we got the PS4 controller. I am right. Don't take this one away. I'm putting it in B, and that's just because I didn't like the layout. I don't like the thumbsticks together. I felt it. I didn't like the size of it. I did like that it had the microphone that came out and stuff. I thought that was really cool. But it had that light that was always on, and it wasn't great. They did, however, improve it with the PS5, the DualSense, which is probably the best PlayStation controller they've ever made. I I don't think it's perfect. No, it's going up in S. It's a very good controller. It's like for me, it's a low S, high A. It's nice, it's chunky, it feels more like an Xbox controller. Has all the things that made the PS4 controller good, but just nicer, and like it feels like you've got something cool in your hands. Plus, it has all the DualSense features when you're running through the grass and stuff like that in the robot game. It feels awesome. It's just not utilized in every game, unfortunately. But don't feel like that's me negative. Like the S tier, they're all like the best of the best, and I would play with all the pads all the way down to B comfortably. After that, they're a little bit naff. But that's my choice. Like I say, I do play a lot more with my Xbox controllers just because, like, with my Xbox, I can literally just push the button in the middle twice and it'll flick from my Xbox to my laptop and vice versa. And my PlayStation, like I say, it costs so much for an extra pad. I don't want to risk wearing it out. And with the limited battery life now being a couple of hours, it's easier just to use the chargeable packs on the back of the Xbox pads. But all in all, each console maker of the big three have done some really cool pads over the years. Some good, some shocking, but they all have fantastic pads for some of their consoles. But that's just my personal opinion. Don't take it offensively. If you don't like it, let me know in the comments why, and let me know which are your favourite pads and which are your worsts. And let me know what other tier lists you'd like to see me do. Now, thank you very much for watching. This was a video first for our members. If you want to be a member, it's 99p a month, and you get content like this as well as emotes and all sorts of other stuff. And yeah, big thank you to all our members. Happy 2024, and we'll see you soon for more tier lists. Bye for now, guys.